This is Black Fire Radio, 21st century. Much peace and love, family. Welcome to the Africa Today show on the Black Fire Network. I hope that you're all doing well on the 11th day of June, the year 2021. My name is Spikes, and in case you're joining us on the broadcast for the very first time, this is a show where we get to discuss different matters affecting us as a Black people globally. And the main goal is to add value to this particular dialogue or these particular conversations because we are one people, regardless of whether you might find yourself in Miami or you might find yourself in Senegal or you might find yourself maybe in Brazil as a Black people. We just choose to come together on this particular platform to discuss these different issues. How is the day coming along? I hope we do have some talent in the house because that particular instrumental, our intro instrumental, is always jamming. If anyone can drop some raps on it, that would be really, really interesting. Or maybe somebody some vocals to just really drop them on that particular instrumental. It's really, really nice, and it's always, sort of uplifting in a way. I see Sister Lightbearer, you are with us. You're saying hi, family. Africa next year for me. Sister Lightbearer, we welcome you. You are very, very much welcome. You have missed the previous trips. We were in Dar es Salaam in March, and we were also in Kigali last year, but one in November. But if we do have another trip coming up, I hope that we shall also have you on that particular one. But I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show for tonight, which is actually 9 minutes to 9 p.m. right here in Nairobi. I don't know what time it is wherever you are at, but I want to thank each and every one of us. Kay Williams is saying peace, Spikes, in the chat room. Peace to you too, Kay Williams. I hope that you are doing okay and that everything is well for you and your family. Yesterday, was it Sister Monique or Sister or Lanet Leo who was telling us of their daughter's birthday? We hope that they had a wonderful time yesterday, and we want to pick apart from where we left yesterday. We were talking about the African or the Black man waking up. And that is the same message even for today until the message gets heard and our people really get to wake up from the slumber. Because if we keep on staying as we are, deep in slumber, then things will actually not go our way. But when we come together on the Black Fire Network Africa today, we purpose really to also to inspire that creative African consciousness and also inspire unity amongst our people globally, not just in Africa, but even globally, wherever Black people be at. And of course, before we start off, I want to remind us of our website. We do have a wonderful website, which is www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. And once you are on the website, feel free to peruse through the blogs. We also do have some podcasts that are also on the blog. And we also do have some other wonderful material that you can get to really use or refer to every now and then on the Black Fire Network. We also do have an active chat. In case you haven't joined us on the chat, please make sure you do join us on the chat. That is on WhatsApp. We are also on Patreon, but we haven't uploaded content on Patreon, I believe. But we shall be doing so very, very soon, as well as on our BitChute. On BitChute as well. We just created an account on our BitChute, so make sure to also check those out. On the video descriptions, we shall be putting that on the description on the description box after this particular broadcast, so that you can also find our BitChute account and also find our Patreon as well for other material or other content that we might not be able to really bring on the Black Fire Network YouTube because of the censorship. We know why, and that is why we prefer to also have diversified all other different platforms, which perhaps we might also get to share the information on. Like I said, in case you all joining us for the first time, this is a Black Fire Network, and we truly value and appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, kindly do. I have noticed yesterday I was trying to look for this particular channel, the Kid Newsome channel, and I couldn't find it for a minute. Like I had to go back onto another platform and then find it. We all know that sometimes it gets hidden. Maybe perhaps you have also experienced the same. You're looking for the Kid Newsome channel, and you're wondering where it is. We do have these on in the backup. We do have the Kid Newsome and the backup channel, but I could only see the Kid Newsome live. I couldn't see the other one, and I realized that because it has been hidden for most of the people that have been looking for the channel. Some of the time you might not find it, some of the time you might find it, but nonetheless, make sure you also subscribe to our backup channels, because we know most of the time it has been done purposefully. It doesn't just happen like that. It has been done purposefully. and that is what's happening. Precise 158, you saying Spikes, Kingston and Sankedon, Lightbearer, and peace to everyone on the chat. Peace to you too. I hope that you are doing well. Last week or early this week? Yeah, it was still early this week when we were talking about the matter of in France. We did talk about the French president who is Emmanuel Macron. And there was a guy who decided that he has had enough, and he decided to actually just slap the president when the president went and he was having a meeting with some of the stakeholders in the hospitality industry because he felt that it's a good thing that he's doing for them, and he had to meet with them. And of course, this particular guy that did slap, that did slap the president in France. He has this. He has gotten 4 months. He has gotten 4 months in a 4 months jail sentence. But I bet you, if this was maybe an immigrant who has left Africa, maybe gone to maybe might have left from Mali, or might have left Chad, or might have left any other part of the continent of Africa and went into France, and then did happen at some point to slap these Emmanuel Macron. Of course, Emmanuel Macron has had people, rendered out of a business because of all these lockdowns in France, as well as also other parts of Europe where the same has also happened. If he was, if he was a black man, these perhaps probably would have been 4 funerals, not even 4 months. These perhaps would have been 4 funerals that he would have actually been given. But this is 4 months for the action, and they are saying he's a 28-year-old man. His name is Damien Tara. He's saying he's a fan of medieval swordsmanship and martial arts, and a sentence of 18 months in jail. But 14 of those months were suspended. The broadcaster did report according to the news that has come out. And Mr. Tyrrell told the court on violence on Thursday that several days ahead of Mr. Macron's visit to the southern Drôme region, he had thought about throwing an egg or a cream tart at the president. The news channel reported. It's like he's telling on himself. He's saying that he wanted to throw eggs or a cream tart at the president, but then he decided he will not go to do that. He just needed to slap him. And I think Macron represents a very neatly the decay of our country. He told the court, if I had challenged Macron to a duel at Sunrise, I doubt he would have responded. And this is what that Mr. Tyrrell was going on and saying. And Mr. Tyrrell later described the attack as an isolated incident and said violence and hate were a threat to democracy. I think he went back on his action, but he would have just stuck by it if this is what he truly wanted to represent. Then he would have just stuck by it, not talking about democracy after getting the 4-month sentence. He had been sentenced for longer, but the rest of the sentence was scrapped. So I don't know how that did happen, but yes, it did happen. For this should also inspire, this should also inspire more action in terms of the citizenry also taking action, because at the end of the day we have seen leaders, especially in Africa, taking people on a ride, But I also do believe, because of the kind of rot that we do have in African leadership, if this also did happen to take place in Uganda, or it did happen to take place in South Africa, or it did happen to take place in, let's say, even Kenya, these would have been almost something that would have also rendered someone, maybe, you might also find someone missing after a while because of the rot in the African leadership. But that is what he did. He did slap the shit out of the animal. And he is not apologetic. He actually later on he turned apologetic, but to the point that he was saying that he wanted to throw eggs or ice cream tart at the president. He was not apologetic at that particular point, and then he realized shit has gotten crazy. But nonetheless, this I was saying, if he was an immigrant, coming from whatever other colony of Mali, for example, whatever other colony of France, like Mali, like Senegal, then the story would have been completely different. But nonetheless, I want to move fast forward from that. There has been a situation that did happen with one of the Uber drivers in Cincinnati, and the Uber driver claims that he was, all sorts of vulgar insults were hurled at him, and racist slurs hurled at him. And of course, he went on and he was saying his car was also vandalized in Cincinnati by this particular passenger who was grumpy. A passenger, another one of the beast who was grumpy because the GPRS was not working. He did claim that the GPRS was not working. This was in Cincinnati, and therefore he decided that he will be, hurling all sorts of racist insults at the driver. And the driver happens to be an immigrant who actually did come from Chad. He did come from Chad, but he had a long day to work. And this was the story. Sister Michelle, thank you so much for joining us, and also the sister Leonard Leo. I hope that you are doing well on this particular day. Thank you so much for being part of the broadcast for today. This is what did happen, and the passenger has been charged. This Uber passenger, he has been charged, and this is a little bit of what was happening with the whole situation, because he went ahead and had in all sorts of racist insults at this particular guy. The Uber passenger is now facing charges of ethnic intimidation after claims he verbally abused his driver and used racial slurs during the ride. The Uber driver, his name is Abdakadir Hamis Ahmad, says he was physically attacked, racially abused, and his car was vandalized by the belligerent passenger. And he was told, "I hope to hell you get shot." These are some of the racist slurs he was saying. I hope to you get shot in. But the thing is, what I have realized, even with this particular situation, even if you are an immigrant, and because this guy at some point he started saying that the insult was based on his religion. This has nothing to do with religion, and this has everything to do with the race. But nonetheless, let me share this briefly. This was what was transpiring in Cincinnati.
And I'm not.
You're not working. So you tell me. I don't.
Why do I have to tell you how the map is working?
Tell me. We are in your neighborhood. Tell me where to go.
Call 911.
Sir, call them. Call them. Are you kidding me?
I will call you. I will call 911.
Call them now. Call them now.
This is a passenger calling 911 on the driver. He probably might have also claimed that he has been kidnapped, because he's never.
Right now,
never
I have no idea where I'm at, and the Uber driver is trying to kick me out before taking me out of my house, because he does not know where the hell he is. And he is threatening me right now. And I'm not getting out unless I know where I'm at in the neighborhood right now.
Nobody threatening you. You are intoxicated, and then you.
Somewhere it's like let's see, it is Glen Parker Avenue, off of Hamilton. No, Glen Parker and Hamilton, off of Hamilton and Glen Parker.
This is the same one who says he has no idea where he is.
Right now, we're at the intersection, and he will not take me to my house. And he expects to get paid to take me to my house. He expects me, what? 513. He expects me to pay him to get to my house.
Sir, you're intoxicated and you're cursing at me, and I don't have to take you.
And am I cursing at all? I have no idea. I can't tell.
It should be on your app. You should know exactly what type of vehicle I have.
What color is your vehicle? If you want me to get out of your car,
it should be in your app. You should know exactly what type of vehicle it is in your app. You requested the Uber, and it should be exactly what type of car. Look in your app, and it should tell you.
If you don't want to tell me, guess what? I'm not getting out of your car. Right now it is pulled over to the side. Put your hazard lights on. I have no idea, but he's an African American. What color vehicle and you are operating in?
It's a blue car.
Blue what?
It's a blue car, Toyota Prius.
A what?
Sir.
It is a blue car, but you won't tell me the rest. Make or model of the car.
All this information should be there right on your phone.
I am talking to 911 right now, mister.
Okay. Ma'am, is the blue car, is a Toyota Prius blue?
Toyota Prius, blue. All right, thank you. Is what I called you on right now. And I've got my mask on and everything else. There you go. No. No weapons I know of unless the driver does.
This situation might have as well gotten critical when these beast in the car says that does anyone have weapons on there, and then goes on blabbering saying yes, that the driver does.
Parker to Hampton, he went to the wrong place. He didn't pay attention to the thing. Bye. I hope the hell you get shot.
Sir.
You don't think me?
And you could hear him going on and saying, I hope to hell you get shot. And so they even when the Karens are actually calling the cops on any kind of a situation, they have the exact idea what kind of an outcome that they would like to have. It's not like they would call the cops on you and then things go haywire and then they are surprised. That is not the kind of a thing I think that is also displayed on this particular video, because he calls the cops. And at some point, he was also blabbering and he was asked if there are any weapons on that particular car. Then he says, yes, the driver has. The driver has. He actually said the driver has. And then goes on and says, I hope to hell you get shot. So this is a kind of a thing. And even if he was from Chad, I always keep on saying that the color of his skin is really the thing that is actually just distinguishing them. He actually said that he is an African American. So he knows these particular persons that knows exactly what kind of a thing that the kind of a harm he wants the police to bring on this driver. And then the driver, of course, went ahead. I think he took this particular matter addressing the media, and he also went at the Council of American Islamic Relations Office. But this totally has nothing to do with his American Islamic relations. It absolutely has nothing to do with that. He might be as very, very much mistaken to think that this has anything to do with this Islamic or American Islamic relations. It has absolutely nothing to do with this. Kingston, you're saying I'm sick of seeing videos without Beast getting hands and feet put on them. I showed the video of Jimmy Brown whooping a Beast for stealing his car. I will try to get that one as well. Kingston. These African Uber drivers are beginning to get out of that business. I'm glad they are getting it. Hard to say we told you so. He might have as well, the situation might have as well ended up in a different kind of a situation, you know. The guy might have continued talking about he has weapons in the car. Even if he was drunk, you know, when you're shot, there is no going back and saying the guy was drunk, you know. they would actually just come up and defend themselves and say they didn't know the guy was drunk. Whomever was calling, he sounded all right, and they didn't know he was drunk. But that's what's going on. Brandon Smith saying, Gates, Fauci, Biden, Chico. That's the list of all the people who should actually, get in the dark nap. I agree, Brandon Smith. But nonetheless, yes, the guy went on and gave a press conference. This driver, he went on and giving on a press conference and talking about the situation. But nonetheless, I do believe this has absolutely nothing to do with his relationships with the American Islamic relation. It has everything to do with the color of his skin, and these bastards like wanting him to get shot. No good beast. No good beast. I'll always drunk or high. He might have not even been on alcohol. You never know what he might have been high on. But he said that the GPRS is not working. That is the reason for him to hurl the racist insults at him, and also want the guy, and also vandalizing the vehicle, because the vehicle was vandalized as well. You could hear him get outside and continue kicking this particular vehicle. And yes, I do believe there should be, more of these beasts getting hands and feet put on them. We should also be having more of that, because what has been happening is that we were saying yesterday the black man should actually also stand up for himself. And I want to move away from that and talk about a different situation. Last week, when was it on Monday, Keith did share with us a story, and this was a report on one of the situations where the teens were shooting other cops. And this we did see the direct show of white privilege, but there has been another different incident where I do believe maybe these the beast kids also thought that there would have been the same kind of a white privilege, but these particular cops, they arrested this particular cracker kid as well. And this is what was going on. The 4 police have been arrested after the video went viral. I don't know, maybe perhaps you might have come across it, you might have seen it. This, of course, video did contain graphic content of the arrest of the teenager who was, a shoplifting suspect at Glendale, California, and it was crazy. This was what was going on. I think he also thought that he might be getting the white privilege, but it went all the way south for him, and there has been a concern on the case. But I think this is what he should have gotten. I think this is what he should have gotten. He was thinking he might be getting some of that white privilege. This is the arrest. This is one of their own that they are doing this too. So you would imagine if at all the shoplifting teenager was black, it would have been crazy. It would have been death.
Turn around on your face! It's the police department. We told you. I got breathe. Turn around. Stop! I can't breathe. Stop! Stop me, please. Stop me. Stop resisting. Turn around. Stop. Listen, Stop.
That also almost seemed to be like the chokehold. It almost seemed to me like almost the way they were doing the chokehold. But of course, that's due. I think that's a good thing if it's on one of the cracker baby thieves. Not actually a baby. That was a 17-year-old. Sorry to use the word baby. That was a 17-year-old who was a shoplifting suspect. Going into the mall and getting into shoplifting. But there has been the issue of, the thing with this particular policy is that even if you do hear of them getting put on administrative leave, I think that's a most we hear. I don't think there is any other report that often comes out after they have been put on administrative leave. There is an internal investigation going on to find out, more information on this particular suspect and, the whole background story with this particular incident. But at the end of the day, that's that. And even if they are put on administrative leave, then transfer, they just move from one particular precinct into another. They might move from Glendale, California, and being taken to another different place where they will continue doing the same thing. But that is, of course, why they want more funding for the police to enable them continue with these kind of analysis. But that is on one of their own. So I'm just trying to imagine if this was on a black teenager who decided to go on and shoplift, the situation would have been even more dire in that particular kind of situation. But nonetheless, we want to move from that and talk about what is happening with these whole vaccinations agenda. I think that was General Mosito on the group saying that so far, I think in a period of a week, he has received 2 messages. I think in 2 weeks or 1 week, he has received messages being asked to go and take the jab on his phone. And I do believe even not just in the UK, but even in the States and elsewhere, the same thing might be happening. And there is this particular meeting of the the meeting of the G8 who are actually meeting, and they have actually been talking about putting more resources, more money towards donating the jab, the vaccine. And I do believe this is a lot of hypocrisy. If you ask me, this is a lot of hypocrisy because we have heard about USA. The US are talking about they want to give about 500 million vaccines, and the UK also came up and say they will be donating about over 100 million vaccines. But I always keep on saying, even when there is a lot of challenges, going on with quote unquote developing countries, we have not seen any kind of an interest in alleviating any kind of challenges or any kind of problems in these developing countries, like they say Africa and Asia and other different places, like we are seeing now in the previous years. I have not seen these countries, the G7 are coming up and the G7 coming up and saying that they want to be donating anything with this particular level of let me call it, with this particular level of really just committing more resources. When there is hunger in any place, maybe perhaps talk about famine and hunger in any place, they do not really care. When there is natural calamities, we have not seen them put in any resources towards towards helping the people. For example, when there was a cyclone in Mozambique, no one really came through for Mozambique. There were so many people that got displaced from their homes, so many people that lost their lives, and among other different kind of a challenge that these people did meet. But there wasn't any kind of a concerted effort by either the UK or either by the US to go and help these particular people get back. So if right now they have seen the need to put all the money to go into giving about over 100 million COVID vaccines, then this particular one is hypocrisy at its level, and we know this is meant to play part and parcel in the big agenda of population control in the continent of Africa, and even in other different places where they might put these COVAX program, because COVAX program, they will be giving some of these to the COVAX program, and the COVAX program, of course, has been of course already embraced by the South African government, the Nigerian government. I think they also signed up for this particular COVAX, and I think other different African countries who have been right there and being led by those puppet leaders. When they are told by the UK, this is the number of doses you need to take, that is exactly what will happen. And our people need to be very, very careful. We have said time and again, if anything is for free, you are the products. That is exactly what it is, even with these particular pledge by the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. And also the US President has also claimed that they will be giving about 500 million doses of Pfizer vaccines to 92 low and middle income countries and the African Union. So the African Union also is the other entry point, is the other entry point. And you have to talk about also the puppet leaders are running the African Union. These people do not even have any interest on the development or on the agenda or anything to do with Africa. Most of them the terms have already been dictated, and they are told when these particular vaccines do come in, you're going to distribute them like this. You have a quota to vaccinate this number of people. If not, then there are still also consequences, and that is exactly what is happening with these matter of the pledges or the charitable organization, the charitable activities of giving. These now will be 600 million, because the US talked about 500 million. The UK is also talking about 100 million. But like I said, this is hypocrisy at the highest order. Now, my people might now go to the media and have the report from the media thinking, oh, this is a generosity, this is a gesture of generosity, and that is why Boris Johnson or Joe Biden is giving all these numbers of vaccines. And that is exactly what is going on. 100 million vaccine doses, yes. So you can imagine the people whose mind is not in the right place, who might be thinking that this is sheer generosity. And they might be thinking, oh, the US is a superpower, and the UK is also looking at the interests of the people in these developing the low and middle income countries, and that is why they are giving these particular vaccines, because they are doing it from goodwill. Then that would be the sheep. And if you have been told severally, or you have been told so many times, and you know what is happening now with these particular moves for the vaccinations around the world, and you still are not on board with what's going on, then I don't think there is anything that can be said at this particular point that might make these particular people see what is happening around the world, And I do believe, for example, when you look at even the UK, the vaccination drive, like I said, I think that was the General Muslim was telling us earlier on the group that there has been numerous messages being sent every now and then, messages being sent every now and then, asking the people, for example, for him, he has received a message on his phone to go and get the jab. And if you have to ask yourself the motive, time and again, you have to ask yourself the motive, but we on the Black Fan Network already know what is happening with that, so we'll not even be focused on whatever kind of messages that are being sent, whether you send 10 messages in a day, or whether you're being sent 15 messages in a day. Just tell your people not to get involved with that. I think if the message is not already there by now, then I don't think what kind of a message you are waiting to receive, or who can you hear it from, so that you can also believe in that. And nonetheless, we shall also move away from that. There has been other different things that are happening. And of course, on Africa, yesterday we discussed about the matter of the Chinese takeover and the assault by one of the Chinese. And that particular, I haven't seen the full updates on what did happen with the Chinese, whether there was any action taken against these particular Chinese, or whether the government let the matter sleep. Because the government, of course, they have been paid off. And therefore, what they would do is really sort of just let the matter sleep. And then more Chinese and more Chinese will be emboldened to continue with the same kind of an action, not just here on the continent, but even in their own country. Because you remember, when it came up, when these particular vaccinations, these virus came up, all the Africans, it doesn't matter whether you are an African in Sierra Leone, or whether you are an African from Kenya, or whether you are an African from Nigeria. All of them were thrown out of their hotels, and they were blamed, for being the ones who were transmitting the COVID. I think I hope you all remember the Africans were blamed and told, oh, you are the ones transmitting this particular virus, so you need to get to the hotels and find a way of you really just going home, or just find somewhere else to be. But right now, with the kind of an action that is happening in Africa itself, it's something different, because this is on African soil. And we hope that the government there will be taking action, but I do suspect highly no kind of an action will be being taken with that particular regard. But that is what it is. Kingston is saying hi to Shepo Simono, and he's a goofy nigga. Spikes. Don't thank the Black American motherfucker. You got your nigga wake up call. You saying he's a goofy nigga? That he's a goofy Spikes. The nigga don't think he black. Welcome to America, motherfucker. You got your wake up call. You're talking about the driver, this Uber driver that had his wake up call. The problem is, when we do have people coming from the continent, and especially West Africa, I will not say just West Africa, but even you might find people in Nairobi or even in Kenya coming to the States. And when they come there, because of the kind of a brainwashing that has been done, everyone wants to see themselves as different from the African American, but everyone else from the outside, like you had that particular beast passenger get into Harling sources. He said he's an American, an African American. But when the African from the continent comes to the US or even to the UK, people want to place themselves in on a different pedestal. You know, like Keith always keeps on saying, it's because for the better part of it, you do have, for example, some African parents, or the local stereotype that has been pushed by the media, that if you go to the US, you will find black people being involved with things like guns, you know, like legal, not really, what can I call it, like crime. Yeah, there has been painted as if people are involved in crime, and I think I would blame this on the stereotypes that has been pushed also by the media. You will find on movies, some movies that have been shown, you do find even crime movies, of course, the culprits or the people who are perpetrating this particular crime on the movies, most of them have been painted by the media as being black. So you will find movies of being shot in Africa, or the TV, or even TV programs being shown in Africa, where you do think that all that is happening with the black people is crime and other things like this. So when this guy, or when a man like this, when the guy like this comes from Chad, or when he comes from maybe from Nigeria, or comes from Kenya, or comes from Ethiopia, or whatever they might be coming from into Africa, you will find them having some sort of skepticism in terms of the way they want to relate with the fellow black person in the States. You know, they think, oh, they might be, you know, involved with some sort of a crime. That is a kind of a thinking for someone who has not done their own, you know, who does not do their own thinking. That is a kind of a thing that you would have for anyone who is afraid to do their own critical thinking and also know what kind of a system that we are living in. So for him, that would be a wake-up call. Yes, I do believe, I agree with you. Precise 158. This would be a wake-up call, because right now he knows what time it is. You all just generalize under one. You told he's an African American, he's a driver, he has a gun, and all these other things that are crazy. We need to keep a record of the Asian attacking us. That will be the truth. Right now, they do have the protection. The signing of the bill, the bipartisan, the bill that was signed by Joe Biden. And I was saying, when you're talking about the matter of the kid that was shot and his family, his father came up on the interview all week talking about he doesn't know what he will do. He don't know if the Asian will come back again and shoot at the kid or shoot at their family. Some other sort of a nonsensical thinking also for him, instead of just standing up and also defending his family like he should. He goes on like he wants to cry. That guy from where was that? That the guy whose kid, whose 6-year-old son was shot. That is a kind of thing, but he was doing. But yes, we need to be keeping a record of the Asians who will also be attacking us, and you will find them emboldened, because now they have also been. It's like I always call it a pedestal. You know, they have been put on another level where they do feel, yes, they are also getting the current kind of a protection. They are getting the white privilege. And that is why they want to go also on the offensive and now, do like they were doing. That happened in my neighborhood. Sister Michelle, you're talking about the kid that was shot, the 6-year-old kid that was shot. It seemed like the guy was told not to come back. According to the bill, the bill term, he got in a bond of 10K. But I also understand that there was a term for him not to go back to the same place. I don't know what the particular term was, but he was not going back. And so you might also have, not just in Sister Michelle's, neighborhood, but everywhere else. These particular Chinese, I'm sure the Asians. You remember there is a video we did show that was about early this year. Yes, it was early this year, sometime in February or thereabout, when there was this particular Asian who was calling the cops on the teenagers, saying that they are there, they do have weapons in their car. They are threatening their lives, and they feel their lives is in danger. And when the cops showed up, it was only by chance that the cops also did not go on a rampage, and shooting everywhere in the car, because they might have as well done that, shoot everywhere in the car and say, oh, we have a report and the sighting of a gun and weapons in this particular car, and so we are allowed to go on and shoot and kill everyone. The Asian guy that shot the child said he feared for his life. Is that what, I haven't seen the video. I haven't seen the update on that whether he has given an interview. But that's crazy. He said that he feared for his life, and his life was threatened by the 6-year-old who was driving the bike on his yard. It doesn't make any sense. But you can also see the system is complicit, because if he was just released and I think he was just locked up for 3 days or even less than 3 days, and then he came out on a bond of 10K for trying to kill for because the bullet might have also gotten, might have hit the boy maybe in the head or maybe some other part of the body, and we might be talking about a funeral, not just about a glaze, or not just about being hurt on his arm. And the father still will be there talking about the funeral and things like that. Yes, we should also be taking. I agree with you. We should also be keeping record and also defending ourselves at any particular moment. If it's in Asia, or sorry, if it's in Africa, or if it's in the States, because the same Asians are also attacking Africans right here in Africa. So we should be sending. That is the video, the show that we did yesterday. And I'll be watching also the assault by the Asian on that particular worker at a mining site in Sierra Leone. So yes, and they are boycotting. His family's restaurant. They should. That would be. They should also boycott the restaurant, that Chinese or whatever restaurant it is. And the thing is, when it comes to when you talk about getting a strong economic power base, we keep on talking about buying black or supporting black businesses, but at the end of the day, you will still find a lot of people, maybe, for example, in this neighborhood, the same people, for example, maybe perhaps it might be predominantly a black neighborhood or not. I'm not sure whether it's a predominantly black neighborhood or not, but you will still find so many people patronizing these restaurants. And then perhaps also near the block, near the same block, we also do have still black restaurants, but people would rather just go and put their money at the Asian restaurant or even at the Asian beauty shop, because they take over all the beauty industry. And then when things like this do happen, is then now when people start realizing, oh, we need to segregate ourselves again. And I do think at every other juncture, people should have that mindset in their mind. You should just have that mindset, because when it comes, people do not have to wait until something like this happened to boycott a restaurant like that. It should have been done ages ago, I do believe. But yes, that's a good move. And any other business that they might be running in this particular area should be boycotted. The same thing should happen right here on the African continent. We do have some businesses that are being set up by the Chinese, for example, the restaurants. They are big on these restaurants and other things like that. We should be focusing on how to really, put our money in other, black people's pockets, not with the Asian as well. Because, like I said, in a few years we will also be seeing their what can I call it? Their contribution also being blown out. Now they will say, oh, the Asians are the one contributing to the development of this country, and now we owe them this and that. Like we saw with Biden signing up that particular bill to protect them. Well, as nothing has been done for black people. But nonetheless, talking about Biden, he has been going on, and he is saying that he has been told that global warming is the biggest threat for security. That is what he goes on talking about when he did meet the army, when he was talking to the troops in the UK. He did say that that global warming is the greatest threat to national security, and he was speaking to the troops. But I do believe this global warming, in as much as you might go on and talk about global warming and put up all these big words, or put up all these big conferences, or put up everything else, there is no going back. This is the universe, and it works like that. So even if you talk about global warming, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to put all the money into climate change, combating climate change and other things like that, there is no going back. You say the military sat down and let us know what's the greatest threat facing the America. The greatest physical threat. Biden said on the meeting he had the Joint Chiefs after becoming a vice president in 2009. This is not a joke. The Joint Chiefs told us the greatest threat facing America it's global warming. That is what he was told in 2009, that the greatest threat facing America was global warming. But this is not a threat for America. This is not a threat for America or the threat for the UK. This is a threat for him and his race. This is the biggest threat for him and his race. And we also talked about the numbers are dwindling down. That the Asians, if you go to the report that was given for China, it did show that the numbers have gone down for, I think, the lowest in 70 years. The same thing was also the case for the US, but they have not shown the racial disparity when it comes to the classification in race in terms of the decline. It's just a number that has been given, a percentage that has been given broadly. I did not see the breakdown of the race because they know it's them going out. And we shall be seeing more kinds of big headlines like this with global warming. And it's just like that. I don't think it shall be actually big. We are not going back to how the temperatures that we used to have on in the Earth atmosphere any other time. It's a good thing that this is happening. I do believe it's a good thing that this is happening because we do have them also going out as the temperatures also get to continue increasing and increasing. And even if you might talk about maybe all these other combative measures you're talking about using the sun geoengineering or the solar geoengineering, that might not help. It might not help. It might not help. I do not foresee that particular one working or helping minimize the global warming. They were talking about blocking the sun using those balloons or reflecting using aerosol small particles to deflect the rays of the sun. It's not going to happen. It shall continue going on and going on like that, and there is no going back. But yes, he says that is the biggest threat, and I know when he says that, he knows at the back of his mind, he knows exactly what is going on. He knows it's not the Al Qaeda, or he knows it's not the Boko Haram in Africa, or he knows it's not all these other things that are going on. It's global warming and it's time up. That is exactly what is going on. The niggas asked. Like they can't make orange chicken and chicken wings. They can't make exactly. That is why they want to go to these other restaurants and patronize them and take the money. We talk about the money circulating in the black community, the least. All these other people, the Asians. I don't think the Asians will be buying anything from the black people, even on that particular block. I remember there was a video where Keith shared sometimes back where there was this particular guy who was selling T-shirts. And he popped into the Asian store and he tried to get the Asian to buy at least 2 T-shirts. And then he actually even told him, I'm offering you a discount because you have been buying from your shop. You should also be supporting our hustle. And the guy said, no, I'm not going to buy none of these T-shirts. And even if they were sold on discounts, or even if they were sold close to nothing, he will not be buying because that is not where his interest lies. We are the only people in the world who have our priorities and our interests are mixed up. That is why we want to go and get the orange chicken and the chicken wings that have been made by everyone else apart from our black people, which is why we do not have these strong economic base. At the end of the day, we keep on looking to everyone else to go and support the houses, and then talk about not having a fair ground. Of course, we know a fair ground cannot just come by that. There are many other aspects in terms of that, but nonetheless, we shall be also hoping that at the end of the day, people get to wake up and realize what is going on and act appropriately, because it's called the inappropriate behavior. It has been called the inappropriate behavior by Dr. Cloud Anderson. He has talked about the inappropriate behavior of black people. And unless people have the collective African consciousness and wake up, also wake up collectively. I know we cannot wake up all at the same time and start realizing what is happening around us, and that everything is used as a tool of war against us. It doesn't matter whether it's that chicken. It doesn't matter whether it's that vote. It doesn't matter whether anything, that they can use to weaponize. Everything is weaponized against black people. And the moment we actually wake up and realize what is happening, then I believe that is when we can start having a little bit of overchange and people starting to, acting appropriately. Because unless we start to act appropriately all over the world, not anywhere, even like we were talking about yesterday, I do believe even us as an African are not acting appropriately, because there's no way you're getting your ass hooked on your own soil and nothing is going on. You're getting ass hooked and nothing is on your own soil, and there is no consequences for that. That also should be a way of seeing that our people are not really acting appropriately. But nonetheless, I want to share with us something that I had mentioned that I shall be doing. I shall be talking about also some health matters on Monday. Was it on Monday? Yeah, no, on Tuesday. I think we were talking about the matter with hypertension and blood pressure, and how to get to cope a little bit. Using the alkaline, the suggestions that have been made by Dr. Saviour. But there are so many other things, of course, that our body still continues to need so that we can keep healthy. And now, of course, I wanted to touch briefly on some that is normally overlooked, very, very much overlooked. And this has to do with the fruits. And fruits, of course, do provide us with vitamins. And of course, every other moment, every other time that you are able to, you do your shopping and get some fruits or some fruits on there, I do believe that is, a way of also trying to, boost your immunity at the end of the day. And like we were saying, the matter of immunity also plays a very, very big role in terms of how easy you can catch any kind of virus or any kind of a disease as well, because if your immunity is well, then your body is able to protect itself, and you would perhaps stand a better chance of even surviving things like the pandemic that has been put out, or also surviving other kinds of attacks that your body might be witnessing. And so I want to touch on the matter of the papayas. I do know that not everyone likes all the fruits. Some fruits really, when I was young myself, I didn't used to like the papaya. And as I grew older, I started consuming it. I didn't used to consume papaya. I used to hate the taste. I don't know for what reason, but when I was as I grew up, I started really liking to eat or to consume the papaya. The papaya, of course, it says a native of Mexico. However, it grows naturally in the Caribbean and Florida too. It also grows in Africa, different parts of Africa. I believe by now there are so many of them that have been what can I call it? They have been sort of a hybrid. By now, I know there are so many of them that have been mixed, and these are just hybrids. But there are many nutrients in the papaya. And now, of course, they are thought to have a range of benefits, of course, which may help prevent against a number of health conditions. And one of them really the benefits is age-related macular degeneration. And of course, the zeaxanthin, an antioxidant found in papaya, does get to filter out harmful blue light rays. It is thought to play a protective role in the eye health, and it also may ward off macular degeneration. And of course, there is also a risk of consuming a higher consumption of the fruit also has some challenges. But it is also said to be useful or helpful in terms of asthma prevention. That the risk of developing asthma is low in people who consume high amount of certain nutrients. One of these nutrients is beta carotene, and beta carotene is contained in foods like papaya, apricots, broccoli, cantaloupe, pumpkin, and carrots as well. And also consuming the antioxidant beta carotene are also found in papayas. May also reduce the risk of cancer. When you talk about cancer, there are so many things that have been said about what can prevent cancer, what can reduce the risk of a cancer. But I think even till today, cancer has not really been understood, because the mutation, I think, the mutation of the cells, which is really cancer, is also difficult really to really comprehend. But yes, if you do have a chance of really just reducing the risk for cancer, then I would say that it's a good thing to also really look into what things can you eat, such as a papaya, apricots, broccoli, and also pumpkin and carrots. So that would also be a good thing to really look into. You can also put it into you can really make a smoothie. You can use it. You can add it the papaya to the salad. You can also add it to your smoothies, or you can add it also in other different dishes. And therefore, there are different ways in which you can just get to consume your papaya, and that would be really, really something. And there is also the matter of a bone health. Low intakes of vitamin K have been associated with higher risk of a bone fracture. But of course, adequate vitamin K consumption is important to good health, and also improves calcium absorption and may reduce urinary excretion of calcium, meaning there is more calcium in the body to strengthen and rebuild the bones. This is, of course, after you have an intake of the papaya, which does have the vitamin K. Studies also do show that type 1 studies also do show that people with a type 1 diabetes who consume higher fiber diets have lower blood glucose levels, and people with type 2 diabetes may have improved blood sugar, lipid, and insulin levels. One small papaya provides about 3 grams of fiber, which is equivalent to just 17 grams of carbohydrate. So also consuming papaya might help with the situation with the situation with diabetes. So I think it's also a good thing that if we are also able to look at some of these benefits, then we would be at a better position in terms of our health, because your health is your wealth. If you might have all the wealth, but you're ailing, then you will not even be able to enjoy a better quality of life, even with money, because money is really not everything. It's important to have money, but really money isn't isn't all. Papayas may contain an enzyme called papain that aids digestion. It can be used as a meat tenderizer. Papaya is also high in fiber and water content, both of which may help prevent constipation and promote regularity and a healthy digestive tract, and also health diseases. Sometimes I think we might look into the benefits of some fruits or some herbs or some other different things that we get to consume and think they have been overemphasized, but you would rather consume and have this particular vitamin and also the benefits than just assume. So the fiber, potassium, and vitamin content in papaya all help ward off heart disease. An increase in potassium intake along with decrease in sodium intake is the most important dietary change that a person can make to reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases, heart diseases that you might get to encounter. And therefore, the article also put it across that it's rich in potassium as well. And the other day we were talking about magnesium and some of the benefits of magnesium, because it was known as the hormone. It was called the hormone. It was called the hormone rescue. No, not the hormone rescue, but it actually plays a lot of roles when it comes to the roles or the work that the hormones, the regulation of the hormones in the body, that is a magnesium. But potassium is found in heart disease. In the papaya, and it's good also to consume, also to ward off the risk of cardiovascular disease. It also helps with the skin, that I have had many times. I believe most of us do know about papaya and its connection to helping the skin. And of course, they are an excellent source of vitamin C. One single medium fruit provides 24% of recommended daily intake. And also it has folate. It also has magnesium. It has copper. It has fiber. It also has pantothenic acid. And those are some of the things that you might find on. It also has folate. Those are some of the things that you might find in this particular one. It also has vitamin B, alpha and beta carotene, lutein, vitamin E, calcium, potassium, vitamin K, lycopene. I don't know what lycopene does, but some of these things are also contained in papaya, which I do believe you might like to throw it on your salad or add on to your other thing that you might be consuming. Alan, you saying I love papaya? That's really not. There is really not too many fruits and veggies that I don't like. Nuts and seeds too. I love the plant-based lifestyle. Yes, that's the only way you can. If you look at even the terms of, I think if you look at patients and look at also what they consume, you are what you consume. I have seen many companies really talking about you are what you consume. No, that is not Dr. Spicer Posimono, but it's just also good to share, because your health is one of the things that matter the most. There are so many other things that matter, but also your health is really, really important. You might also be, you might also like to consider some of those particular benefits, and also reducing the risk of the heart diseases when you consume a little bit of papaya. And General Mosquito, thank you so much for joining us. You're saying peace, everyone. And General Mosquito is the one who says meds. Today we are talking about potassium. General Mosquito, we're not talking about magnesium. We have to switch it up. We are learning, and it's actually a good thing. But nonetheless, the topic of the day really today has to do with the liar. There have been so many people that have come up to the realization, especially Trump. Trump was the very first person who did call out, I believe he did call out, was not in good terms with Fauci. And right now, as it is, there has been the demanding of the resignation of Dr. Fauci, because it's understood that some of the information that he gets to give is really misleading. And of course, he is also, I think he has some favors to carry with some political, his political association. And therefore, even if he knows this is not right, but it might actually also, offer him some benefits, or also offer him some, what can I call it? Some sort of benefits with these particular political, parties or political groups. Then it means he will actually just, misdirect the general public. But of course, there has been the Republican senators. There are a couple of them that have been calling for the resignation of Dr. Fauci. Of course, recently there was also the matter of the leaked emails that did come out. And one of the things that has to do with the things that he did talk about was trying to sort of downplay the probability that this particular virus was leaked from the laboratory in Wuhan. Him and his team were some of the people that did get to discredit or did get to downplay the one of the possibilities. The highest possibility is that this particular virus did come out from the Wuhan lab and it leaked, and that is how the people were first it was first reported in Wuhan. But of course, the senators, these are Tom Cotton of Kansas, and also Marco Rubio, and also Marsha Blackburn of, I believe, of Tennessee, are calling for his resignation because he has lost the confidence of the American people. But on the other hand, we have seen the Democratic Party, especially with Biden. Biden is always on the defense of Dr. Fauci. He make it seem as if Dr. Fauci knows everything, and therefore he cannot go wrong in terms of even directing the people to wear the masks. And then there was also the matter of whether when the people have been vaccinated, they can now go ahead without wearing the masks. And most of the time, he actually has also, even when he went to Parliament, even when he was called to, even when he actually went to address the Senate, they are saying that he did get to evade, some of the questions in regards to the way the handling or the handling over this global pandemic. So I do know that Fauci is part of these the whole the globalists who are also putting these kind of sham on people, and they have used him trying to give him the image that he is some sort of a savior, for lack of a better word, or paint him as if he is an all-know, and he is a person to be asked, or he's a person to be trusted on any matter to do with this whole particular issue. But I do believe this was just an image that has been put, and all the media, I do believe all these other media, the CNN, the Fox, and all these other media that have used him, they have also done it also in cahoots with the globalists who want to run this particular matter and make this particular whole thing keep on going on and going on and going on. Talking about the numbers are increasing, the fourth wave, the fifth wave, the third wave, and all these other things. They did say Dr. Fauci has lost the confidence of the American people with his repeated evasions, misdirection, and politicized statements. These according to Tom Cotton, who said, according to the Fox News, if he won't resign, Biden should fire him. I do not see Biden fire him, but maybe perhaps they might at some point, get rid of him when they are done with the work that they need to have done by Dr. Fauci. They might also get rid of him, but they would also try to silence him because he might also come up and say, "Oh, they had me do this," or this was how this was a game and this was the role I was playing, and this is how they had me, directing, or they had me saying this and that. Now, of course, they were saying for 16 months, we have seen a Dr. Fauci withhold information, dismiss plausible explanation for the COVID origin, and outright lie to Congress, according to Mark Rubio, who was said he's supposed to be a fact-based public health official, not a pundit, distorting the truth to conform with his personal judgment. So, for him, he says the attacks the attacks are on him, not on science, but he was saying he's also being attacked and he's just trying to help. For him, he sort of says it's really he's playing the victim on this particular one. But I think at some point they will break him and he might exit, but they will try also get rid of him and now try. It said they will get rid of him. I do think he has said that the attacks are on him, not on science. He says that his information is based on science, but I do believe this also has to do with the kind of a favor that he wants to carry with these, these parties or these leaders, quote unquote, leaders. And of course, many one-time detractors have now accepted the possibility that COVID-19 leaked from the laboratory in Wuhan, particularly since Biden last month released a statement saying that the U.S. intelligence community has coalesced around two likely scenarios for the origins of the COVID-19, including whether it emerged from a human contact with an infected animal or from a laboratory incident. And of course, Fauci has, gotten criticism after thousands of his emails were released through a Freedom of Information Act filing last week. The emails show Fauci's early dismissal of the theory that COVID-19 leaked from a lab in Wuhan. So for him, he said no, it couldn't have happened. On those emails, the correspond on the emails that did come out. They also show that Fauci brushed off a message warning of Chinese disinformation regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. So when it comes to misinformation and when it comes to also evading, evading and misdirecting the people, he has done all those things. And they say sometimes he gets 2,000 emails a day, but never deletes them, and feels he has a responsibility to reply to them all. That's some nonsense right there, talking about all the emails that he should be replying to. But yes, anyone still listening to Fauci and are thinking that he is a man who can direct people on terms of what is happening, or telling them what masks to wear and what people can be allowed to interact because they have gotten the shot. This is the wrong way to go, and I do think that he should also be getting just kicking the bucket, but not he should also be getting that data. Leonard Leo, you're saying sorry, I think I got nobody in their right mind believes anything that he says anyway. You saw him yesterday on the panel when we were showing the video yesterday. There was a panel he was on, and they have used him as a, I think people now realize that, of course, the confidence has eroded, the public confidence on him has eroded, but they still put him on those CNN shows. They still put him on those CNN shows because some people till today, they still believe that he says anything that can be trusted. But I do know when they are done with him, they probably will throw him under the bus, and he might also try come back and say or spill the beans because he knows what is happening behind the curtains. He might spill the beans and say this was part of a game, like I said, and this was the role I was playing. I was having people go along with my narrative, and these are the consequences. But of course, that might be they might not let him talk if at all it ever gets to that particular point. They might not let him talk at the end of that particular. They might just try have him, kick him out or sort of silence him in all sorts of ways. It would be beautiful, kind of not really a surprise. It would have been a beautiful thing if we also had Fauci also contracting the virus. That would be a good way of him to go out. It would have been it would be like a perfect what do you call it? That would be really be nice. But nonetheless, there has been something on that. Apart from that, there has been something that has been going on in Oregon, in Portland, and they are talking about the increase in the number of gangs in Portland. I do remember when there was the matter of what were they calling them? The cops, the marshals that were being sent, to Portland to sort of calm down matters in Portland. They were saying they would impose the marshals, and right now they're talking about the numbers of the gangs. There have been an increase in the number of gangs in Portland, deadly gangs that have been killing people. I think right, left, and center, and of course, I think for the people of Portland, they had claimed for the defunding of the police. But the violence, they are saying is too much. And they are saying, as of Thursday, there have been 37 homicides in Oregon's largest city so far this year. This year alone, there have been 37 homicides, more than 6 times the number recorded in the same period last year, according to the Associated Press. The current annual record for homicide is 70, which was set in 1987. But so far, there has been 37 already. There has been an increase. They're talking about the increase in the deadly gang violence, and there is also that particular call really to defund the police at the same time. But let me share briefly on this. And that is a little bit on what is happening, of course, in Portland. In Portland, last year there was it last year? Yes, there was the issue of the Black Lives Matter protest, and the protesters are really had it to the police. So many of them. I think the police was sent there in their numbers, but they have also the protesters were also pushing for the defunding of the police. So this I think sets a dilemma because now it said that already so far there has been 37 homicides, and in 1987 there was 70 of them, and we just are getting to have we're just halfway through the year, so it means that you also do have another maybe 37 coming if nothing is done. I'm just saying there may be another 37 coming. So I don't know if there's anyone tuning or actually just streaming from Portland. Please do let us know what is happening. How is the situation on the ground? I do not know if you have anyone from Portland, Oregon, but if you are in that particular area, please do let us know what is happening. Is that gang violence or is it something else going on in that particular matter? Because most of the time we do find the news on the tabloids or on these other platforms. There is also something going on beneath. We might not know exactly, but if there is anyone really just tuning in from Portland, please do let us know what is going on in that particular area, because I do sense that maybe there might be more than meets the eye, and there might be some elements who have been given some work of destabilizing the area with another different agenda at the end, where people can find where people can actually disrupt everything. That would be the kind of a thing that might be going on in that particular situation. But that is what is happening. But nonetheless, I wanted to, of course, touch on something else that has been going on. And of course, Dr. Mombi has actually been talking about the connection with Africa, or the ownership also really with Africa. And she was actually saying that Africa really is not for everyone, because we have seen people think, especially there's some Africans who think that when the European comes on the African continent, that they are sort of the same savior complex, the same savior complex, and the same inferiority complex with our people on the African continent, who do think that there is anything that the European will come up and help the African with in terms of building, or in terms of. But history has taught us. But nonetheless, let me share a little bit on this. Why do I always think Portland are neighboring cities? Why do I always think that Seattle and Portland are neighboring cities? Maybe I do not know why you do. I do not know why you do. But let me share a little bit of what Dr. Mombi also had to say. She has been awakening, and she has also been trying to awaken the rest of Africa with this intro.
To all the dispossessed youth of Africa, hello and welcome to Love Donations through PayPal. We appreciate love. Single Black person in the entire world, came from Africa. Yes, our origins and our roots are there. It's like the mothership. It's the center of the world that we're currently existing in. But we spread out and lived everywhere. And, and I think that's really important, because people have tried to claim ownership of different things. And this is why so much money, energy, attention has been put into controlling the narrative. And we always have to remember the world is mental first and foremost, beloveds. And so if you control the mental, then you easily control and manipulate the physical. And that's something that the enemies of our soul figured out. That's something that Babylon is continuously investing in. But it's a very loose control, because you have to continuously hammer the home, the point home. You can't just, you can't just give one jab. You need to give one jab every year kind of situation to kind of maintain the lie. It takes so much energy to maintain the lie. And the dangers of, you can use all this money and all this energy to maintain a great lie. And then all of a sudden, a little drop of truth will render all the work and investments you've done totally useless. And so that's why there's so much in terms of censorship, controlling what information is getting out there and what can feed people's minds, because there is an amazing awakening going on, beloveds, and it's happening. It cannot be stopped. As they say, that we're in a time where an awakening, the idea of the awakening, has captured enough of the imagination of the global humanity that it cannot be stopped. It's that message has been hammered home, and now enough people are wakening up. And it's funny because this most diabolical act